Hello students, myself Vikas Tiwari. Once again I welcome you to my channel Map World of Physics. Also you can download our application from Play Store with the name Mass Academy Advanced Physics. Here just I want to tell you we are already going with the topic of electrostatics of class 12th. Okay, in the previous lectures we have already discussed what is electrostatics, what is frictional electricity, what is charge, what is properties of charge, and what is quantization of charge. And also based on that we have done some of the numericals. Today in this lecture we will just move with a new topic, and that is named as methods of charging. Okay, so what are the different methods of charging we will discuss with this particular thing. Okay, so there are three methods of charging. Okay, so the very first method is charging by friction, second one is charging by conduction, and the third one is charging by induction. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. Okay, what is the charging by friction? This we have already discussed in frictional electricity, where when the two objects are rubbed with each other, then transfer of electrons takes place. Means when we are rubbing the two things, when those two things come into the physical contact and there is some process called friction, then there is starting the transfer of electrons. One body, as we have taken in the example as glass rod and silk. Okay, so in that particular case some of the electrons has been transferred from glass rod to the silk, so the glass rod becomes positively charged and silk becomes negatively charged. So the object which loses electrons becomes positively charged. Okay, one of the object becomes positively charged and another object becomes negatively charged. The electrons which leaves the one body, that becomes positively charged, and the another body on which the electrons transfers become negatively charged. So what we are saying, so in this process both object will gain the charge, but in opposite nature. One body will get positively charged and another body will get negatively charged. Also the charge which has been transferred on the body, its mass will slightly increased, and the body from which the electrons left, its mass is slightly less down. So this is what we call charging by friction. When two objects are rubbed with each other, then transfer of electron takes place. The object which loses electrons become positively charged, while which gains electrons becomes negatively charged. So in this process both object will gain the charge, but in opposite nature. Okay, so this is the very first method of charging. Another method of charging is particular, what we are saying, charging by conduction. When a charged object gets conducted with uncharged object, then the uncharged object gains charge. This method is used when size of two objects are almost similar. Suppose we are taking two objects. Okay, the charge, one is uncharged and one is charged. Okay, suppose this is a positively charged, and when we will bring into the physical contact, okay, then we will touch. So what will happen? The transfer of electrons will take place. Okay, so the charge will transfer of electrons will takes place. Okay, so suppose this is a body called a body which is positively charged, and this is a body which doesn't have any charge, which may be a neutral. Okay, so what will happen? It will happen then when we will just conduct them, there is a conduction takes place between these two bodies, then the flow of electrons will start from this body to this body. Okay, so the charge start leaving, the electrons start leaving this body and transferred into this body. This body is already positively charged. This process will continue until the charge becomes same on the two bodies. Okay, so this body will become q by 2 and this charge will become q by 2. The nature will be the same on the two bodies. In this particular first method the nature will be opposite, but in this particular case nature on the two bodies will be the same. Means if it is positively charged, then it is also positively charged. It may be a negatively charged, Okay, so then in that case electrons will start flowing from this body to this particular body. So this is the second method, which is called charging by conduction. Okay, and the third method, that is called charging by induction. Okay, again what we are saying, these two processes are there in which the two bodies are in physical contact. Okay, two bodies are in physical contact. This is the process. But what will be in the charging by induction? When a charged object comes closer to an uncharged object without touching each other, there is no physical contact between two body, then separation of charge takes place in that object and polarity occurs. In this process we connect the object with ground so that all extra charge positive will be transferred to earth and object will remain negatively charged. Why I say positive? Just I am taking an example. This is a body. In the very first case, this is a body which is electrically neutral. Now what will happen if I bring a body, another body which is already a positively charged? When it comes, brings near to it, near to this surface of this body, this surface of this particular body, then what will happen? This body will become negatively charged. Means if here it is positive, then it will become negative, and the another surface which is not in near to this particular body, that will become positively charged. Okay, so what we are saying, if it is positively charged, this becomes negatively. If this body is negatively charged, this part becomes positively charged and this part becomes negatively charged. Okay, so what will happen after that? If I'll say if I will going to ground that particular body, if I am going to ground this particular body, some electrons will flow from this particular body to this body. Electrons from ground will flow and they will neutralize this positive charge, whatever be the positive charge. Okay, this will be neutralized by these electrons so that this complete body will become negatively charged. So what is the process over here? This is a positively charged body, that's why it becomes negatively charged. If it is negatively charged body, then it will becomes positively charged. What will happen if it is this is the process, this is negatively charged, okay, and if I will take, this is the body, okay, and if I'll say the charge will come over here, then it will positive charge over here and this surface will have negative charge. And if I will ground this particular thing, then the electrons from this flow from the ground to make this body completely positively charged. Okay, so this is what we called induction method. In induction method, there is no physical touch between the two bodies. Okay, so this is what we call the method of induction. So remember, there are three methods of charging. First one is charging by friction, okay, second one is charging by conduction, and third one is charging by induction. So now we have discussed all these three methods. In the next lecture we'll go with the Coulomb's law. What is the Coulomb's law of force over here? Thank you very much.